fire, 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 fire. Diablo 1 was my first computer game? Really? Man, so many people enjoy Diablo 1. I've never played it. I did watch an entire playthrough. It was 4 hours long. I know all the story. It's really cool. Love all the ambience and the music and the cinematics, but yeah, I never actually played it through, like, physically myself. I think I watched my brother play it once or twice. My Diablo game was Diablo 2. Like, that was my game. That was me. I was a little kid, like, fucking running around dying to, like, fucking imps. Whatever they're called. The fucking Rakanishu. So, yeah. Diablo 1 masterpiece. Clearly, Mr. Ackman really likes it.
The warmth of life has entered my tomb. Prepare yourself, mortal, to serve my master for eternity.
The cinematic was... the reworked cinematic for Diablo 2 was so cool.
The village needs your help, good master.
Demons running about the village at night, pillaging our homes. Is nothing sacred?
I sense his dark power building, and only you can stop him from attaining his full might.
Shit.
This is where things take an even darker twist than I thought possible. Our former king has risen from his eternal sleep, and now commands a legion of undead minions.
Is it too
within the
loud, by
labyrinth.
the way? Let me
The
know.
evil that you move against is the Dark
love the
Lord of
walking.
Terror.
It's so
he is known
fucking
to
good.
mortal men as Diablo.
As the afterman. Pitch too loud.
What's up, everybody? This is the Demon Slaying Man here, and today I want to take you
Man.
to hell.
I love going to hell. I turn on my stream
Today
and I go to
have
hell.
the honor of reviewing one of the greatest games ever made, the grandfather of action RPGs.
Diablo.
It's a game that's
Diablo.
haunted me since childhood, not just because it scared the piss out of me, but
Dude, it was scary back in the day. Like, look at that. I'd shit my pants if I was a little kid playing this game.
because I could never beat it. What the fuck? These days it feels like Blizzard is a walking L factory, churning out loss after loss with unparalleled efficiency. If you're not 800 years old like me, it might surprise you to learn there was a time when Blizzard took nothing but W's, where every
That time is long gone, man. When was the last time? No, you know what? I'll give Overwatch 1 was a huge W initially. I think Overwatch 1 was the last W they ever had in terms of, like, original content. And it was awesome when it came out. Yeah. And then they ruined it, obviously. But, yeah.
every single game they made
year 2 is when it was
a
really
certified
bad.
banger and a masterpiece. Let's go back to that time to revisit the demonic
God.
roots of the
I want you guys to know this. Hold on.
demonic roots of the Diablo time when
Let me-
Blizzard took
let me show
nothing
you
but
guys something real
W's,
quick.
where every single game they
Fucking
time to
hell.
revisit
Right
the
there, right there, right there. Did you see the book? Did you see the book? This little manual? I read that on the toilet every fucking day. I had the Lord of Destruction manual. My brother bought the fucking chest. I had that shit down pat. I even wrote little notes in it when I was on the toilet with a little fucking pen.
certified banger and a masterpiece. Let's go
was
back
so
to that time
good,
to
man. I
revisit the
loved it.
demonic roots of the Diablo series.
Yep, I lost
The
some
first
link to
Diablo is one
Diablo
of
while I'm on the
those
toilet.
genre-defining landmarks in video game history. It stands shoulder to shoulder with the likes of Doom, Super Metroid, Mario 64, Legend of Zelda.
True. Yeah. Yeah, I played Doom with my brother. I played Diablo 2 and I played Super Mario 64. It was so fucking good. So fucking good. They don't make games like this anymore.
Metal Gear Solid, Dark Souls, Corey in the
Dark
House,
Souls,
and
Corey
any
in the
other
House, oh
titan
shit.
that shifted the direction of an entire genre and this industry as a whole. Diablo is one of those games most nerds know about and respect, but relatively few have actually played.
True.
One of those games where people say, "Oh, Diablo? Oh, yeah, that's an all-time classic."
True.
Oh, fuck no, I ain't playing that. What are you?
Yeah, exactly like I said. I watched the entire 4-hour cinematic, like, playthrough, or, like, lore playthrough, rather, of Diablo 1, but I've never played it, but I respect the fuck out of it, so.
Crazy?
He's
Game's
got
like
a point, it's
500
true.
years old. It's kind of like Street Fighter 1.
like,
Nobody talks
how
about
old
that
is
game.
Diablo 1? It's
And yet
like
without
30?
it, we wouldn't have Street Fighter 2. And
Yeah, it's
without
like 30
Diablo 1,
years old,
we
dude.
wouldn't have Diablo 2. It's time to solve this mystery once and for all. Does Diablo 1 still hold up on its own merits? Or was it merely a stepping stone to something greater? Is my love for this game blinded by nostalgia? And most importantly, is Diablo 1 worthy of being called a masterpiece? Well,
I don't need to watch 45 minutes to know it's a masterpiece, but god damn it, I will do it.
let's
Stay a while and listen.
slay
Yeah,
the
it is like
butcher
30 years
and descend
old.
into
Holy
hell
shit.
straight into this. This video is sponsored by Exter. Known for inventing the first trackable wallet, Exter helps you keep track of your most important possessions. The Parliament wallet is especially snazzy, and it can hold up to 12 cards and your cash. All it takes is one simple button push and bam! Now you can send me your credit card information. The cards don't fall
Now the
out, so you
feds
never
can
have to
track
worry
you.
about that. Exter allows you to locate your wallet, keys, or phone by attaching a tracking device and using the Exter app. This is super helpful if you've got ADHD like me and are constantly
Yeah, you have to click
misplacing
every
things.
attack,
Slim,
that's right.
Sleek, efficient. Exter's wallets are way better than the bulky average Joe wallet. So what are you waiting for? It's time to ditch that chubby wallet and slim down to something better.
The inventory
So go to
management in Diablo 1 is also way
extra.com/theactman
worse than in
and use
Diablo
code
2 or
ACTMAN
3 or
at
4 or
checkout, and
whatever.
I'll give you 35% off your entire
Just because it was
order.
the first
Links down
game.
below, and thank you, Exter,
just
for
didn't know any
sponsoring
better.
this video.
And now for something completely different.
Diablo 1 is a lot more important than people give it credit for. Given their prevalence today, it's hard to imagine a time where ARPGs were considered a tough sell to consumers. That's exactly what Diablo was.
So at the time, PC RPGs in general were kind of in a very strange state. Sales had really declined on any kind of RPG at the time.
It's David Brevik! He's a legend, man. Dude. You saying 1997's 30 years old hurts. I'm hyperventilating right now, crying. No, it's almost 30. I did say it's almost 30.
And
He's
even
a
though that was
legend.
huge genre earlier, when we went to go pitch Diablo to a bunch of different places, we got rejected 20 plus times. But we knew that this was an unusual kind of style of RPG.
You see, the RPG genre before Diablo was mostly based in like a high fantasy setting with elves, dragons, castles, princesses. It wasn't like the variety we have today. So a dark gothic
Fucking Red Dead
RPG
Redemption.
about descending
So
into
good.
hell and slaughtering demons was a pretty radical idea, dude.
In a lot of ways, we wanted to kind of make the antithesis of what RPGs were at the time. We wanted to make sure that the style of game it was much more like the way that I used to play Dungeons and Dragons as a kid. And so I wanted a game that was, you know, killing monsters and getting cool loot, rather than having a long story.
Elder Scrolls
with a
2,
deep
man.
character
Holy shit, look
customization
at
and stuff
fucking
like that. I
how
wanted to
reamed
focus
out it
more
is.
onto the
This must be
action
on
side and
DOS.
more on the loot side.
And by making the antithesis of other RPGs, Blizzard had an immediate advantage over their competition.
Oh my god, is that a statue or a person cosplaying? I think it's a statue. Look at this guy with the fucking keyboard piano! Man, what a picture. What a beautiful picture. It was, I think, Windows 98 wasn't out. Yeah. A guitar? I don't know what a guitar is, man. I play piano and a guitar, not a keyboard piano.
Diablo stood out amongst the crowd, and later it would become the competition. You could
It was
credit Diablo for
revolutionary.
popularizing adding real-time combat to RPGs. Besides Zelda,
Sorry,
almost
excuse
every
me.
RPG of the time was turn-based. In fact, Diablo was at one point going to be turn-based, but
Ah, fucking hell. Can you imagine playing Diablo on turn-based? Ew, yuck, chat. Ew.
material they changed that because it would have sucked dinosaur balls.
So we felt like we had a great idea that separated us from the crowd, but I think that a lot of people, especially a lot of people in publishing at that time, weren't necessarily gamers. A lot of them were just businessmen
Gamers.
who
Oh,
had
it's
learned that this
Bobby!
genre isn't selling anymore. I don't care what kind of game you're pitching me. And so getting to pitch the game to people that were actually gamers, that were publishers in Blizzard, was a
Wait, there were gamers in Blizzard. Oh my god, how the turns have tabled. Oh, back when Blizzard had actual nerds in their fucking game, game studio. It's so fucking sad. What has become? Times changed. Now there's just furries. Yeah.
Kind of breath of fresh air, and they understood the vision and ultimately led to us doing a deal with them.
Ironic.
Funny how the times have changed, huh? Nowadays, Blizzard games don't feel like they're made by hardcore gamers, but rather businessmen. Businessmen who view game design as nothing more than a spreadsheet of player retention numbers and how to maximize them and maximize profit. In this way, it's ironic that Diablo 1 in the year 2023 feels like it's the antithesis of Diablo 4. Diablo 1 doesn't waste your time. Blizzard wanted to make getting into the action as quick as possible.
We want to just press a few buttons and get right into the game. Character creation was this big deal in RPGs. You would end up answering a bunch of questions about your history and giving yourself a backstory and putting numbers into all sorts of stats before you even knew what the stats would.
Yeah, it was the traditional Dungeons and Dragons format, and they decided to just forego that, and people loved it. Diablo 1 dungeons were randomly generated was the one that blew away from me in an old game. Yeah, it didn't exist before. Everything was mapped out, usually. Daggerfall was pretty fucking good for its time. Yeah. Yeah, it's the doom of RPGs. True, it's revolutionary.
Diablo said, screw all that, pick your guy, choose a name, bing bang boom, you're in the game. Here's a club with a nail, now go kill Satan. It's hard to describe just how awesome Diablo 1 is. You just look at that cover and damn.
Oh, look at those scratches on it. That's how you know he actually owned the copy. He didn't just buy it off eBay. Yeah, look at that. That is just so, like, the little clips that hold the thing in. So good.
Satan himself is staring right back at you.
Come and kill me, motherfucker.
You always know a game is gonna kick ass when the Christian parents hate it. So as a
I knew so many kids in my school who their parents didn't let them play Diablo 2 because the parents were like, you're playing a game that's promoting Satan. The way that I told my mom is that we're killing Satan, so let me play the game. And she's like, okay, like, you can play it as long as you kill Satan. I'm like, yeah. That's how I sold it to my mom. I said, we're killing Satan. It's the opposite. We're not worshiping him. Yeah, my mom was reasonable. My dad didn't care. He was like, just do whatever you want. But if your mom gets mad, then don't blame me. And I'm like, haha.
The kid, when I popped this disc into my computer,
you can say the same thing about Doom as well,
what I saw.
Killing demons. Oh my god, I'm terrifying!
What the fuck was that? Nothing to worry about, I guess. Just my eyes playing tricks on me. Diablo's intro makes it clear what kind of game this is going to be, but you truly have no idea what's in store for you.
Oh my god,
okay,
man.
The graphics are a little cheesy, but you know what's
reminds me of RuneScape graphics, but kind of like cool.
Still strikes terror into my heart. Now that's a fucking title screen if I've ever seen one. So after you pick your character,
that was powerful.
Where do you arrive at? Alexa, play the most ominous atmospheric soundtrack in the world.
My name's Deckard Cain, and I come from Tristram. If you're looking for Diablo, then you just missed him.
No. No, not that. No, turn that shit off.
Turn that shit off!
Tristram theme. What is this? When did Deckard Cain begin his rap career? Alexa, play the most atmospheric soundtrack in the world. Thank you.
I could play this on the guitar. It wasn't very hard if you played a simplified version of it.
Diablo establishes its dark atmosphere
so
right out the
beautiful.
gate. The premise is simple. You take control of a hero returning to their hometown of Tristram.
The most...
Now,
genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, I think Tristram is one of the most beautiful, like, city soundtracks that to ever exist. Like, the amazing, like, strumminess. Too bad the composer was kind of a schizo, if I remember correctly. It turns out he was, like, an actual shitposting schizo. he started like saying horrible things on Twitter and stuff, and people were like, He also made the classic and some of the Burning Crusade soundtrack as well. But I guess he was kind of an insane genius. I forget what his name was. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure it's the same person. I can't remember what his name was. Matt Ullman. Yes! Yes, he was a bit crazy. A bit delulu. I can separate the person from the music. Yeah, he made some amazing music, but he was kind of a fucking, like, crazy person. Let's just say that.
Again, the graphics are outdated.
Oh my goodness!
But what transcends time with a game like this is its style. This is one of the most iconic hub areas in gaming. The village of Tristram is bathed in eternal twilight. The sun never sets.
Beautiful.
And it never rises. As you explore it at a snail's pace, you'll meet each of the 8 surviving residents. Ogden the tavern owner, Griswold the blacksmith, Pepin the healer, Adria the witch, Wirt the crippled child, Farnham the drunk, Jillian the barmaid, and
Wirt's
Deckard Kane
leg.
the elder. Their titles
Adria the
indicate their
witch,
area of
the
expertise
bitch.
and what knowledge they can impart on the player.
Every child hears the story of the warrior Arcane and his mystic
Warrior.
armor known as Valor.
Warrior.
If you could find its resting place, you would be well protected against the evil in the labyrinth.
The townsfolk point out that demons only attack at
The
night
warrior.
since they're afraid of the sun, and so Tristram feels like it's always on the knife's edge, of verging into darkness. Like at
So
any moment,
beautiful.
Diablo will regain his full strength, the sun will set, and legions of demons will pour into the town, slaughtering its helpless residents.
My goodness, demons running about the village at night, pillaging our homes. Is nothing sacred?
Now, this might be to explain why the NPCs don't ever move, but Ogden says that
Anyone else notice the warrior, like, moving from side to side like this when he's idling?
mysterious dark riders patrol the
problem.
forest outside the town and hunt down any who try to leave it.
Oh shit,
All
the
was
Dark
peaceful until
Riders.
the Dark Riders came and destroyed our village. Many were cut down where they stood, and those who took up arms were slain or dragged away to become slaves, or worse.
Meaning everyone is trapped here.
It is strange how
Wow.
at times anyone who tries to leave Tristram is hunted down and slain by the cloaked riders.
You never feel at ease in the world of Diablo, and that's the point. In most other games, and even
I have
something
no
as dreary
idea.
as Dark Souls, the hub area feels like a reprieve from the oppressive world. But not here, man. Tristram merely gives you a false sense of security. You want to know
Yeah,
a
there's
fun
demons
fact?
all
Diablo
around
1
you.
is so dark that 19 years after its release, the official Diablo channel chose to age restrict the intro. So if you talk to Ogden, he gives you the rundown on a state of things, spelling out the threat Tristram now faces.
The church at the edge of town has been desecrated and is being used for dark rituals. The screams that echo in the night are inhuman, but some of our townsfolk may yet
That
survive.
sounds fucking
Follow the path that lies
terrifying.
between my tavern and the blacksmith shop
Those
to
sounds
find
in
the
the
church
background.
and save who you can.
Ooh.
Normally this tell don't show type of storytelling is more stale than maggoty bread, but it works in Diablo 1. It's like listening to an audiobook, and you can let your
I'm scared,
imagination
chat,
take
hold
over.
me.
The armories of hell are home to the warlord of blood. In his wake lay the mutilated bodies of thousands. Angels and man alike have been cut down to fulfill his endless sacrifices to the Dark Ones, who scream for one thing: blood.
Now, some might argue the voiceovers are over the top, and
You
know something?
Imagine you're fucking 7 or 8 years old and you fucking get to that point in the game when they're talking about like fucking splitting someone's skull open and you're like, I'm shaking, mom. You run away and cry.
Abandon your foolish quest. All that awaits you is the wrath of my master.
text scrolls are how 99% of the story is presented to you. So in a way, these technical limitations of 1996 forced Blizzard to be more creative. There is still a timeless charm to Diablo's simplistic approach to storytelling. The story is entirely optional too. I think you're a filthy degenerate if you skip it, but so
Based and true. Dude, in Diablo 2, the thing that I was the most scared of was fucking yeah, it was the smith. Cause it's an optional quest, so it's kind of a surprise almost when you go to that place in the cathedral after the catacombs.
The Twitch stats extension for Chrome shows your channel at 114.5%, so almost no view bots lol. Underscore carrot.
I'm not sure what that means, but I appreciate it. Thank you for the biddies. Yeah, the Smith, he would smack you around. I also really freaking hated Doriel. Doriel as a sorceress was extremely painful. Griswold the zombie? No. I remember he spoke faster. Nah, it's fun. Yeah, Doriel was the biggest bitch. True. Arcane Sanctuary in D2 was really cool. That shit gave me motion sickness. I'm not even joking.
So as we shuffle towards the cathedral, we find a bloodied man who must have only just escaped the labyrinth.
Please, listen to me. The Archbishop Lazarus. He led us down here to find the lost prince. The bastard led us into a trap. Now everyone is dead.
The Butcher!
Killed by a demon he called the Butcher. Avenge us! Find this Butcher and slay him, so that our souls may finally rest.
Were there portals in Diablo 1? I don't think so, right? That was a Diablo 2 thing. Or am I wrong? There should be. Yes, there were? Okay. I was just wondering. I was like, wait a minute. Did you have to walk all the way up the stairs again after you kill something? That would be so stupid.
Your death will be avenged.
Your death will be
avenged. I can't beat around the bush any longer. It's time to head down into the labyrinth.
The sanctity of this place has been fouled.
And you can see the clear contrast and comparison you can make between this entire graphic set and Diablo 2's Catacombs. This looks almost identical, but like I guess like kind of like an outdated version where they build upon Diablo 2's version of this. It's so fucking cool to look at. I don't know, for me, I'm a nerd.
Come on, you little bastards. Bro, this game is easy. You click everything and it dies instantly. Yeah, and just like that, folks, so we're already at level 2. Bring me a real challenge.
Fresh meat.
This,
he
ladies
keeps
and gentlemen,
chopping.
Is the Butcher. And encountering him for the first time is one of the most memorable moments in all the games I've played. It highlights how tension and fear can be used to their maximum potential. All from a tubby dude in an apron who chases you at what can barely be called a brisk pace. There is no jump scare, just one line of dialogue, a demon wielding a giant cleaver, hacking apart his victims in a room soaked with blood.
Do you think this would be as terrifying if you weren't a little kid when you saw this for the first time? I don't know. I feel like it still is really terrifying when you're like an adult or like a young adult. Fresh meat. Yeah, he said the thing. He said the thing he always says. Fresh meat. I was scared when I was 15 playing this. Oh, fuck yeah. I was 16 and disturbed me. Damn. Okay. Fresh meat.
Bodies displayed in grotesque manners, almost like a perversion of the crucifixion. The Butcher is a beginner's trap. Part of the reason this guy is so iconic is the first 2 levels kind of fool you into thinking you can kill everything in 1 to 3 hits, so naturally you approach this door like any other, and when the Butcher appears, it's a goddamn reality check. If you think Diablo is gonna be a cakewalk.
Explain voice changer, yeah.
This is when you start to realize why Diablo 1
not the
is so
demon
difficult.
lords.
Hit
oh no, they're blood knights. Never mind.
If you get hit hard enough, you will be stunned, which interrupts any action you're taking. It can suck you back towards the demon that's whacking you. Hit stun combined with the slow move speed makes positioning vital. If you think you can play Diablo 1 like any of the sequels, you are in for a real treat.
Oh my god, look at those titties. Holy shit, look at their asses. They're fucking out. They were not wearing anything. Chat, look away. What rating does Diablo 1 have? Probably like R18. Look at those fucking titties and those fucking asses. Holy moly.
You do not want to be surrounded by more than
That's
2 or 3
it?
demons at a time, since they can block your escape route
wonder
and
how many
stun
boys
lock you
fap
so
to
you
that.
can't attack. This slower paced gameplay makes fighting the forces of hell an actual challenge, as opposed to making all the enemies something that you run up and try to slaughter as many as fast as possible. It means
harpies have
Diablo
their
doesn't
tits
need
and
to
ass
litter the
tattooed.
screen with hundreds of enemies at all times in order to be challenging. Now, if you want to try and run past the enemies, well, good luck with that. You'll just run
that's
into
not,
more of them.
That's not gonna happen. That doesn't really work in Diablo 2 unless you have teleport.
And because enemies don't respawn, you can't reset the dungeons. There is a finite amount of XP you can get. So you have to kill absolutely everything. The Butcher is great since he always appears in the same room. So once you know he's there, you can avoid him until you're stronger. But once you finally slay this red bastard, come on, he's so close.
The spirits of the dead are now avenged.
Oh my god. Loot! Oh, there's that loot drop dopamine.
Butcher's
Ooh, I've been missing that so
Hell
bad.
yeah.
And this is what makes Diablo so addicting. Tackling a hard challenge for a unique, awesome reward.
Firewall
May
on
the
his
spirit
ass.
of Arcane protect me.
If you ask the townsfolk about him, they all have an experience to relate.
I saw what Farnham calls the Butcher.
I
as it
love
swapped
doing
the
this in
path
Diablo
through the
2.
bodies of my friends. He swung a cleaver as large as an axe, hewing limbs and cutting down brave men where they stood.
By the light, I
It's
know this
Griswold.
vile demon. There were many that bore the scars of his wrath upon their bodies when the few survivors of the charge led by Lazarus crawled from the cathedral. I don't know what he used to slice open his victims, but it could not have been of this world. It left wounds festering with disease, and even I found them almost impossible to treat. Beware if you plan to battle this fiend.
Cain tells you the Butcher was part of
Mamma
Lazarus'
mia.
trap to lure townsfolk into the dungeon. Lazarus, by the way, is the archbishop who betrays
Bishop
everyone.
Lazarus.
None of them were prepared for what lay within the cold earth. Lazarus abandoned them down there, left in the clutches of unspeakable horrors.
How
to die.
terrifying,
So you just
man.
killed the Butcher and you think you can rest easy for a moment. But upon
No.
returning to Tristram, Ogden tells us the story of the fallen King Leoric, whose son, Prince Albrecht, was kidnapped
he's
for
that-
unknown reasons.
With each
They put the Heroes of the Storm character in Diablo 1, guys. They put that guy in the game. Wow, that's so cool.
passing day, Leoric seemed to slip deeper into madness. He sought to blame innocent
King
townsfolk for the
Leoric.
boy's disappearance and had them brutally executed. The
Oh,
king's
shit.
knights and priests tried to placate him, but he turned against them and
The
sadly,
Mad
they were forced to
King.
kill him. With his dying
the guy
breath,
from
the king
Fortnite,
called down a
yes.
terrible curse upon his former followers. He vowed that they would serve him in darkness forever. This is where things
So
take an even
spooky.
darker twist than I thought possible. Our former king has risen from his eternal sleep and now commands a legion of undead minions
And listen
within
to
the
the
labyrinth.
music.
Please, good master, put his soul at ease by destroying his now cursed form.
Approaching the tomb of the Skeleton King, it's our duty to destroy his now cursed form.
The warmth of life has entered my tomb. Prepare yourself, mortal, to serve my master for eternity.
After battling a legion of skeleton warriors, you
There
come
he
face to
is,
skull
Skeleton
with the mighty
King!
King Leoric, his crown still resting upon his skeletal remains. And after defeating him, our character remarks,
Rest well, Leoric. I'll find your son.
this line has always stuck with me because despite him being a servant of the Lord of Terror, despite his hostility and the threat he poses, he was once respected by all the townsfolk as their noble king.
The tragic fall of Leoric was a harsh blow to this land.
Big piss. Massive piss.
Happy 4 months, Solana Smuggle Love.
Oh, hi, Dawson. That you're happy 4 months. Thank you so much for the resub. Leoric doomed to be the skeleton, his son doomed to be the vessel for Diablo Wolf. Yeah, no, in the end they find him down there and he's dead. Yeah, so freaking
The people
cool.
always loved the king, and now they live in mortal
And then he went
fear of him.
mad.
The question that I keep asking myself is how he could have fallen so far from the light.
It's quests like these that get me so interested in the lore and backstory of Diablo and its characters.
Look
You know,
at
when
her trying to
Decker Kane
maneuver.
drops his
So
catchphrase,
fucking
Stay a
scary.
while and listen.
he really means it. If you stay and listen to what the tomes and townsfolk
Bye,
of
Rick.
Tristram have to say, you will unravel an amazingly dark, spooky tale.
Deathwing. Rawr.
What makes Diablo feel like a horror game is you are the underdog. You get no allies, no help in the labyrinth. You never know what's around the next corner. It forces you to be careful about waddling into the open without a
And this was before people made like YouTube tutorials and all that fucking garbage to like spoil the game for you. So when you launch the game, that is it. There were moments where I had launched games and I would never beat them because it was too difficult or I didn't know what to do because my little fucking child brain couldn't figure it out.
plan. The game handles its lighting and darkness in such a genius way. Light radius is a stat that reveals a greater area around you, making it easier to see approaching enemies, but also easier for them to notice you.
Is that the same for Diablo 2? I don't think that effect works on monsters, but you do see more. Maybe it does, I don't know. I just always knew that it was a worthless stat. I was content enough finishing games sometimes. It bothered me. I remember when I played Duke Nukem, I think, was it 3? No. The one that was on Windows 95, I think. Yeah, the one on 95. I never beat that one, and then I went back and finished it 10 years later because it bothered me so much. Yeah. I was like, I need to beat it. I need to. I've been dreaming about this day. Because the only save I had that was past the point that I had when I was a little kid was the save that my brother left on the computer like years and years before that. And I never got to that part. So I aspired to be like, go into the depths of like the quote unquote dungeons of Doom. Like Diablo, obviously not the same, but still. I never got to it though.
Some demons can open doors, others can't. You can use this to exploit their
Is that a
AI.
monkey?
But this truly felt like
Holy
a
shit,
fight
it's
for
an
your life. And you never
abomination.
get the same feeling in any of the later games. The encounter with the butcher teaches you that
you never know what is going to come through that door.
But Diablo's fear factor extends beyond its gameplay and steeps into the story as well. Try to listen to this and tell me you don't feel a little bit intrigued.
Beyond the Hall of Heroes lies the Chamber of Bone.
Chamber
Eternal
of
death awaits
Boning.
any who would seek to steal the treasures secured within this room. So speaks the Lord of Terror, and so it is written.
So after you hear this, you're like, what the
Ooh.
fuck is the Chamber of Bone? So you go back to town and
Chamber
Decker Kane
of
tells you it's a
Boning.
place filled with treasure.
These tomes inferred that when the lords of the underworld desired to protect great treasures, they would create domains where those who died in the attempt to steal that treasure would be forever bound to defend it. A twisted but strangely fitting end.
If you talk to Adria, she says,
Brutal.
You will become an eternal servant of the Dark Lords should you
This
perish
fucking
within
voice
this
actor.
cursed domain. Enter the Chamber of Bone at your own peril.
You see, unlike the nameless, forgettable, copy and pasted dungeons of Diablo 4, every dungeon and level in D1 has a purpose beyond gameplay. The Chamber of Bone is a quest where you whack 100 skeletons for
is.
treasure, and that's it. But it feels way more
What the fuck is that? Why is there so many? Are you just supposed to pull them out one at a time? Holy moly. Dude.
important
That is
because it's
terrifying. It
treated
shit
as
my
a
pants as a
layer
little
of the
kid.
story and lore. Another quest that illustrates this is the Halls of the Blind.
I can see what you see not. Vision milky, then eyes rot.
Oh, a little
When you turn,
rhyme?
they will be gone, whispering their hidden song. Then you see what cannot be. Shadows move where light should be. Out of darkness, out of mind, cast down into the halls of the blind.
Again, this quest is so simple, you don't have to
So
go back to town
spooky.
to learn anything about the Halls of the Blind or what the fuck they are.
Look here. That's pretty funny, huh? Get it? Blind? Look here.
It's just a bunch of rooms filled with invisible enemies, and you kill them, find an
I
amulet, you're
hated
done.
invisible
But the way
enemies,
it's
man.
presented, like
In
this
any
poem,
video game
it adds
period.
mystery and intrigue. This is what I love about Diablo. No quest
Thanks,
is
Payne.
treated
Appreciate
as
it.
filler. Now, the serious, grim tone of Diablo is balanced quite nicely with a few rare moments of comic relief and humor.
please. No hurt, no kill. Keep alive. And next
Fucking
time,
Moon
good
Clan.
thing to you.
Garbod the
Moon
Weak
Clan
is
goats.
interesting because it's like one of the few times a demon is trying to reason with you, but he ends up just like betraying you.
I'm not impressed.
Fucking asshole.
And there's another quest called Ogden's Sign, where a bunch of the Fallen steal his sign with the rising sun, thinking the sun is some sort of powerful thing. But talking to these demons is actually a little relieving because, as Cain puts it,
perhaps they are not all as smart as we had feared.
Then, of course, you have the
Well, I mean, it develops in like Diablo 3 and Diablo 2 that there are mindless little fucking demons, basically, that are commanded by a general. So yeah,
Black
it makes
Mushroom
sense.
quest.
Now that's one big mushroom.
One big mushroom.
What is that?
Whoa.
Why does the mushroom say "whoa" when I pick it up?
Whoa.
Now that's one big mushroom.
Now that's one
Whoa.
big mushroom.
Whoa.
Why?
I've never seen a mushroom that size.
You always have clear audio and
Whoa. Whoa.
visual indicators of what's happening when an
That's
enemy
cute.
gets hit
Whoa.
or is staggered or dies.
It's very satisfying. Diablo 2 and Diablo 1, very satisfying to like melee kill stuff. Just all around. The sound effects and the animations.
Everything from opening chests to gold dropping.
Oh my god!
The sounds are so good that Diablo is still using them 26 years later. The screeching, grotesque sounds demons make when taking damage, attacking,
They reused the gold sound as well from Diablo 1 for Diablo 2. Like,
or dying. They're all so memorable. And combined with the incredible sprite work, it looks and sounds awesome. What's crazy though is how little music is in Diablo, yet how impactful it is. The game is split into 4 sectors: dungeons, catacombs, caves, and hell. Each area has its own theme, which escalates the feeling of dread. Every level changes the enemy rotations too, and everything looks and sounds completely different. You're immediately put on edge.
oh my god, look at those
you aren't
fucking
just
projectiles.
descending
He's
into
getting
hell.
on
You are descending
hell.
into madness itself. So Diablo has 3 classes, each with slight differences. Warriors get faster melee attacks, rogues have better ranged attacks, and sorcerers can access the top tier spells. What separates D1 from later entries and most other RPGs.
God, I love Diablo 2. It's just so good. You could kill me and put me in the game, I'd be so happy. Some mobile games still has demon sounds. Yeah, I'm not surprised. They steal a lot of shit. I know a lot of people steal like WoW sounds too.
RPGs is that no
they're so
spell,
iconic.
weapon, or piece of armor is class specific. Each class can use pretty much 95% of the loot they find. This gives the player quite a lot of freedom,
Holy shit,
as
you're
you're
so
not locked
lucky.
into a specific playstyle at the start of the game. Most of Diablo's issues are a result of it being older than dirt and one of the first of its kind. Don't get me wrong, there's some annoying dumb.
Wait, you like Act 3? Wow. You're one of the first. My favorite is probably like Act 1. Act 1 and Act 5. I mean 4. Excuse me. Act 4 is great because you're like literally in heck.
Tedious crap in this game, but I don't think it'd be fair
I just don't
to
like the
treat these
jungle
problems
shit
as anything more than
in Act
tech
3.
limitations or small oversights by the devs. It'd be like criticizing Pong's graphics, you know? It's like they did the best with what they had.
Yeah!
Did you guys know Diablo 1 was actually the first Strand type game? Yeah, if you
Lots of
walk from
walking.
Wurt to Adria, it's gonna feel like Death Stranding, man. Yeah, walking in town is like the biggest complaint, probably. Managing the inventory is also tedious. As far as I know, you literally have to drag and drop each and every item or potion into your belt or whatever. It's also pretty funny that there's no stash, so everyone would just throw their shit in the middle of town. Gold also took up inventory space in stacks of 5,000, so it was
There's just stacks of gold.
possible to see an item in the store that is so expensive you literally can't buy it. But these antiquated issues are fixed in the Beelzebub mod, which I talked about before.
there's
I'll
mods.
actually put a link in the description to that video. But that mod, in my opinion, is the definitive way to play D1. Still, there's a charm to the archaic design and difficulty of Diablo, and the lack of quality of life features we take for granted, like having no autosave and one save slot per character. You can actually hard lock your game if you panic save at the wrong moment. This happened to me as a kid when I was fighting the butcher. I saved right before his last hit was coming to kill me, and every time I tried to load in, I would just die instantly. That's it. The game
that's just old school as fuck, to be honest. I've had that happen before on other games. Accidentally saving, and then the other save you have is from like an hour ago, and you're like, oh my god, I want to kiss myself so bad. Like, bye, little bird. Bye bye. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it.
It's over. I have to restart. There's more than one way to fuck up your playthrough, by the way. These yellow zombies, fuck them to hell. Every time they hit
Fuck
you,
them to
it
heck
permanently
and back.
reduces your HP. There is no cure for Black Death zombies. The
Oh,
name is
just
fitting.
like real life.
The game doesn't tell you they reduce your HP permanently. You need to have the character screen
That
up in
is
order
so
to see
reamed
that.
out. You can't even.
Yeah, by
You
today's
can't.
standards.
You can't even go to a priest to heal for that shit. 1 second, I'm gonna move my fucking screen over. Yeah.
These things would obviously be criticized, but it does create some very real tension. I mean, think about it. The zombies are the easiest, slowest enemy type to fight, and they made a variant that is 500 times scarier. Diablo 1 is a game that you must respect. You need to pick your battles carefully, and if you pick the wrong one, you could end up at what the fuck is going on? At times it feels like the
Yeah, we're watching a Diablo 1 review by Mr. Actman. He's a friend of the channel. Yeah. We just played Words like 2 hours ago, I think, so you missed it. So maybe tomorrow, Inksy.
Diablo 1 developers set out to troll the player base. There are traps everywhere. Diablo has several moments where the game just says, fuck you. Oh, you want to see what's in this chest? Eat shit. Your mom wants to open this chest. Opening chests and doors is a complete crapshoot. Shrines? Oh boy. Oh.
They nerfed it a lot in Diablo 2. Traps don't really kill you in Diablo 2, to be honest. Thank you, Wakey. Thank you so much. Welcome in, Inksy.
Oh, these are infamous for being disguised as a power-up. But when you click it, a cryptic message appears, and you're like, what was that about? Oh, my stats have been permanently reduced. Identifying items is a thing, which makes getting loot exciting and bringing it back to town. There's like a little process there. But sometimes you pay money to identify something that is literally worth 0 gold.
That happened in Diablo 2 as well, to be fair.
Griswold won't give you a dime for it. Shrines and bad loot doesn't bother me that much. Diablo is a series all about taking gambles. It's about rolling the dice and seeing what you get.
So the loot lottery is kind of a system by which random items are generated. And the best analogy is it's a slot machine. Every time you kill a monster, you put a quarter into the slot machine, and you pull the lever, and out
chat,
can come
original
nothing.
Gamba.
Quarterback, you know, you could do pretty well, or you could hit a jackpot. And so if you can think of pulling the lever as every time you kill a monster,
Gamba.
it's got kind of this
We
addictive
love Gamba.
quality. Just as slot machines are addictive, so is the I am going to maybe.
The first time I got my Talra shot drop on my sorceress when I was a little kid, I shit my pants. I immediately ran across the house to tell my brother, and he's like, you know, that's not really a rare drop. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. I'm a little kid. I'm like ecstatic. I'm like, oh my God, it dropped.
Win
So
something
cute.
big here.
You need negative consequences attached to that gamble in order for the positive ones to feel satisfying. Diablo 1 has what I like to call archaic difficulty. It's challenging because it's so unlike most other RPGs you've probably played.
Old as
what happens
fuck.
if you try to
I don't
talk to
like
an
chat.
NPC in Oblivion? Everything around you freezes. Not in Diablo, okay? If you try to read a tome or talk to a character in the labyrinth, the demons don't just wait for you to finish your conversation.
as my fellow knights succumb to their twisted.
Want to pause the game and manage your inventory?
You're old.
Tough shit, nerd. Get good. And if you play a melee build, God save you. Ranged enemies will be the bane of your existence.
Just
You
don't
can't
play
run
melee,
these guys
Lamau.
down. Trying to chase the Moon Clan bastards or the succubus, they just lead you into bigger groups of enemies. And oh my God, leave me alone. It's times like these when Diablo starts throwing waves of bullshit at you that you learn to catch that bullshit and redirect it right back. You start to realize that you
Holy
can stun lock
shit.
demons too. And yeah, you can get surrounded by demons, but in the same vein, they can get in their own way. In the early levels, you learn to exploit doorways to fight them one at a time. You can cast magic or
Not playing melee?
firewalls to kill enemies without directly engaging
sure.
them. So in this playthrough, I went through the dungeons, the catacombs, and the caves without dying. It was difficult, yeah, but once you reach hell, it's a different story.
Oh,
There is
no.
a type of enemy in Diablo that is usually exclusively found in level 16, the last level.
Fucking
If
Blood
you have
Knights.
managed
They look
to
like
piss
the
off
Doom-
God himself, when you reach
Doom
level
Knights.
14, you will encounter Blood Knights. You're about to watch me make the biggest mistake of my entire life. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Oh, shit.
Did you see it? Did you catch my mistake?
Oh no.
Well, unbeknownst to me at the time, Blood Knights are the toughest enemies
Oh my
in the game.
fucking God.
They resist fire, they are immune to magic and lightning, and I just aggroed 11 of them. Ladies and gentlemen, what you see right now is an image taken before disaster.
Yeah, do music. Get him! He's like running and cutting and kiting him. Dude, these are exactly like the Doom Knights in Diablo 2. They're so tough. They're so big and beefy and meaty. Yeah, the Doom Knights were super beefy, yeah.
And this is the exact scenario that you are meant to avoid. This is why you need to take it slow in Diablo. Someone in the comments is going to be like, well, Ackman, why don't you just run to safety?
Safety? Where the fuck's that?
You
Yeah,
see,
where
I
is
can't
the
grind
safety?
experience at this point. I have no choice but to fight these guys. There is only one way down. The second I drop down to these stairs, all the Blood Knights are waiting to attack. Diablo is difficult and unforgiving if you don't know what you're doing. However, if you can make it all the way to level 16, kill
Satan
Diablo by
himself!
yourself, you should wear that accomplishment as a Medal of Honor and be damn proud of yourself.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the corruption of replayability in Diablo titles, because the concept is synonymous with the Diablo name. Diablo 1, when it came out, was critically acclaimed for its
Holy
procedurally
shit.
generated dungeons. They made every playthrough unique. The levels were so convincing that to first-time players, you could beat the game without knowing any of it was random. You see, Blizzard could have settled for simply making one version of Diablo 1, 100% linear, and people still would have loved it. Most games didn't offer this kind of replayability. So aside
That's why speedrunning in Diablo 1 and 2 is actually kind of difficult. You have to get really good RNG. I remember Mr. Llama, I watched one of his world record speedruns. He had to reset one time 16 times because he went in 40 minutes into his playthrough and realized that he got bad RNG and he had to restart. Yeah, Mr. Llama.
from being
Llama
a talking point in
SC, I believe
advertising
his
and
name.
promotion of the game, there was no monetary incentive for Blizzard to keep fans playing this game over and over. But they included
did it
procedurally
anyway.
generated dungeons for the player's benefit. They took the extra time to figure that shit out when no one else was doing it and make it subtle enough you'd think what you played was made by hand. And that's one thing that made the first game so special. But now, Blizzard has managed to take this concept of replayability and absolutely mutilate it in Diablo 4. And that's the big difference. Where Blizzard used to make decisions to improve the player's experience at the cost of monetary benefit, they now do the opposite. They take away from the player's experience for monetary benefit. It is impossible to experience everything in a single playthrough of Diablo 1, and that's what made it so cool. I don't think most people realize how much of this franchise's foundation was built in the first game. Much like how Halo 3's plot is just the cut second half of Halo 2, Diablo 1 already had the plot of D2 and parts of D3 mapped out.
Glory and approbation to Diablo, Lord of Terror and
leader of the three, the primevals.
My Lord spoke to me of his two brothers, Mephisto
Dude,
and
Mephisto's so
Baal, who were
scary.
banished to this world long ago.
They talk about the Far East, an important setting in the second game.
My Lord wishes to bide his time and harness his awesome power so that he may free his captive brothers from their tombs beneath the sands of the East.
And Dariel, the Maiden of Anguish, cut side quest from the first game.
You lure no more men to their deaths.
Iswal the Fallen Angel, Azurath, the Hellforge, Horizon Sanctum, all cut content from Diablo 1. Even lesser evils, Osmodon and Belial.
That's when Blizzard used to actually make good like decisions and like cutting content instead of because they ran out of time and not because they wanted to make money off of people. Did you know that Vanilla was supposed to have Burning Crusade in it, like the zones and stuff? But they didn't have time and they ran out of time. That's why we have Burning Crusade. It wasn't something that they wanted to do, but they had to. Never played the old Diablo games? Dude, you should. They're so good. Especially Diablo 2 Resurrected. I don't know if they'll do a remake of 1. They probably, I don't know, mess it up. I hope not. Vanilla WoW was supposed to have Mount Hyjal 2, right? I think so, yeah. Yeah, it was in the game files and it was supposed to happen, but they never went through with it.
Were created in Diablo 1 and wouldn't see their first appearance until 16 years later. This is why the series has such amazing, rich lore, because so much was figured and planned out ahead of time. Blizzard also planned the launch of Diablo to coincide with this radical new platform, Battle.net. It wasn't enough for Diablo 1 to virtually change how people view RPGs, but now it was doing the same with online gaming. This laid the foundation for all of Blizzard's video games moving forward, and it is still affecting their games today. See, back in caveman times, when you had dial-up internet, 2 sticks and a rock and nothing else, most games used some kind of external website to figure it out, to host online multiplayer. Diablo 1 changed this.
With Warcraft 2, we offered network play, and what happened was people wanted to be able to play it over the internet, but we hadn't actually provided facilities for that. So with Diablo, we decided that we should be providing that matchmaking functionality, and that was really where the original idea for Battle.net came from.
This is one of the most...
That's so crazy to me. They just said, decided to change their mind. They were like, yeah, we're gonna make Battle.net. Yeah, we'll make it. Yeah, I think it's worth the time. So cool that they did that for the people, you know?
Important innovations in gaming history, and it's barely fucking mentioned.
We always talked about one button access. We wanted to be able to just push one button and be playing with your friends, and to be simple, and to not have to enter IP addresses and all kinds of stuff like that.
Diablo 1 in Battle.net is arguably more important than Halo 2 and Xbox Live. Yeah, I said it.
Battle.net passed 700,000 users.
Well, yeah, it's the archaic version of what they build upon, but yeah.
And 13 million games played online by the end of the year as Diablo went on to win numerous RPG and Game of the Year awards.
While I never experienced it myself, the fact that Diablo 1 could be played both solo and with friends, in addition to the procedurally generated dungeons, the game just had insane replay value. Diablo 1's multiplayer also introduced this idea of having an in-game economy, trading items and gold with other players. This was before RuneScape. Give Diablo 1 some fucking props, dude. All right, this is it, fellas. We've hit level 16. We fought Lazarus, and here we are, Terror's Domain. Strap on the big boy gloves. Dude, there's... Oh my god. This is just insane for a melee build. I'm being pelted with fireballs from the toughest ranged enemies in the game and assaulted by blood knights. It's a nightmare.
All the
This
fucking
is a
stupid
true
fireballs.
test of endurance. It's a gauntlet, a race to pull the 3 levers that revealed Diablo's lair. We're doing it. We're doing it, lads. Okay, okay, all right. Let's see if we can pull a few more. Oh, fuck, there he is. Oh my God. Please, please, just die. Just die. I did it. I beat the game. I killed Diablo. It took me 24 years, but I fucking did it. After all the hell I've been through, I deserve a happy ending. However, as you remove the soul stone, Diablo's physical form disintegrates. Where his corpse once was, now lay. A child? And now, it all makes sense. You recall a passage from a tome you found in the caves.
Be warned that the soul stone must be kept from discovery by those not of the faith. If Diablo were to be released, he would seek a body that is easily controlled, as he would be very weak. Perhaps that of an old man or a child.
We have solved the last mystery. This is Prince Albrecht. As life returns to the prince, he is granted one last breath. Before death takes him back, leaving our character with only one thing to do.
Smashing it into his skull! And that's what becomes the Dark Wanderer. It's so scary.
There are 2 major twists at the end of Diablo. The protagonist and hero who slays the Lord of Terror will eventually, quite literally, become the very thing he swore to destroy. The other twist is more of a theory I have. Why would Diablo and Lazarus wait for us in the deepest bowels of the labyrinth? I believe Diablo used Lazarus to capture Prince Albrecht, to lure the strongest warriors down to his lair, one who could fight through his legions, defeat his generals, and make it all the way to Terror's domain. Would be a strong...
I love that the Diablo 1 mechanics from Diablo are literally in Diablo 2 and 3. I think that's so cool. The fucking throwbacks, the fire spitting that he does in a circle, that's in Diablo 2. I don't remember if it was in Diablo 3, but I'm pretty sure it is.
Vessel for him indeed. Perhaps
so
then,
cool.
It was Diablo's plan all along.
Diablo kind of got a fat ass
so
too.
that eventually he could be reborn again.
got an ass.
Much more terrifying than before.
The soul stone burns with hellfire as an eerie red glow blurs your vision. Fresh blood flows into your eyes, and you begin to hear the tormented whispers of the damned. You have done what you knew must be done. The essence of Diablo is contained.
Fire Nova. That's right.
For now. You pray that you have become strong enough to contain the demon and keep him at bay. Although you have been fortified by your quest, you can still feel him, clawing his way up from the dark recesses of your soul. Fighting to retain control, your thoughts turn toward the ancient mystic lands of the Far East. Perhaps there, beyond the desolate wastes of Aranok, you will find an answer. Or perhaps, salvation.
That's beautiful, man.
And that is Diablo.
So
Though nobody could have known it
cool.
at the time, Diablo actually ends on a worse note than when it began, setting up the next story for not just his return, but 2 of his brothers. Now that is how you write a dark ending and escalate the plot. I think Diablo 1 still holds up insanely well for how old it is. And the Beelzebub mod is just the ultimate version of this game.
Chain
the beauty
lightning.
of Diablo 1 is in its simplicity. Less
Reminds me of
can be
StarCraft
more.
1 cinematics.
This game
Yeah, it's the
proves
same
that
era.
immersion, intensity, and fear don't rely on the latest and greatest graphics. Quality lies in the writing, the style, and the atmosphere, which all transcend time. Outdated technical issues aside, Diablo 1 is a nearly flawless game with immense replay value. It's disappointing that Diablo 1's legacy and importance in gaming history has been largely forgotten or overshadowed. Most gamers don't even recognize the influence it had because the influence is found everywhere, and people might attribute the things they love about ARPGs and regular RPGs to other games. But Diablo 1 brought all the ingredients to the table, and then handed Diablo 2 the perfect recipe and let them cook. And remember, Condor had pitched Diablo and been rejected over 20 times by publishers and businessmen. They were denied by companies who saw RPGs as a dying breed, too risky to turn a profit on.
Same with World of Warcraft, it's true. It's not about the boobs, ass, or personality, but it's about the story. Aww, that's so deep! Diablo 1 walked so Raid Shadow Legends could run. Stop. Not Raidy Shaddy Legends, no!
We've gone around to 25 different publishers and handed out this document to a whole bunch of people.
And they rejected them.
Said,
and Blizzard
no,
took them in,
RPGs are dead. There is no way we are investing in an RPG.
But then a company like Blizzard, made up of nerds who wanted to make games they'd want to play, they were the ones willing to take a chance with Diablo. It's poetic then, that this dungeon crawler that's all about hitting the slots, gambling for loot, would be one gamble for Blizzard that paid off. And that
666 million? Hold on.
Would be one gamble for Blizzard that paid off.
$666 million in sales in 5 days, a record for Diablo 4. And now nobody fucking plays it. Well, almost nobody, yeah. The number of the beast! Oh, so scary!
Off. And that is why Diablo 1 is a masterpiece.
Yeah!
Greetings! Greetings! Can't touch this! 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 Can't touch this!
I love the Deckard Cain fucking AI. Stay a while, listen. Yeah!
Way to go, homies! That was dope!
What a good video! I love that. That was awesome.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, boy.
Cain in a house.
That was awesome. I love that video. Thank you, Mr. Acting Male. Very nice. Mommy. Piss, piss, piss. Shit. Piss, 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 piss. Fuck. Fucking shit on calm. Piss myself. Fuck, 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 fuck. Piss, fuck, piss, 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 fuck, fuck, piss, fuck, piss, fuck, piss, 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 fuck, piss.